All right, we're back here on See the Stories, and boy, do we look different.
Yeah, we do.
Reggae music tells stories through its lyrics. Topics would often range from love, anger, friendship, even happiness, and much, much more.
Yes, and speaking of reggae music, one Indonesian musician with huge impact on the reggae music scene in the country is Ras Muhammad, who is also known to have impactful songs. He calls himself the ambassador of Indonesia when it comes to, the Indonesian ambassador of reggae. That's
Correct.
really, really cool. And the singer in 2015 held a concert in Jamaica, the country of reggae, and a show that marked the first time an Indonesian musician has performed in that country.
And now we are connected with the man himself, Ras Muhammad. Good evening, Ras. Good evening, Bali. How are you?
Good evening. Good evening. Can y'all hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
loud and clear.
Loud and clear.
Hello.
Hello.
All right.
All right, Ras. First things first, can you tell us about the latest development of reggae music in Indonesia?
The latest development of reggae music. There's a lot of artists, up and coming artists coming up. A few of them, of course, are my friends. One of them is Radit Ekoman. They're doing sort of the different styles of reggae music, more of the subgenres like dub music and all of that. So it's quite the development in the past 15 years in comparison when I started practicing reggae music from like 2005,
So I just out of curiosity, we know about the development right now, but when did you first listen to reggae, and what made you fall in love with the music?
My first exposure to reggae music actually was about 1993. I thought it was rap music. So there's this form of reggae music that's called dancehall music. And a cousin of mine played it on mixtapes when I was living in New York City. And the first song was, I still remember, I still love it to this day. It's called Champion by Buju Banton. Walk like a champion, talk like a champion. What's up with the body gun? Tell me where you're going. Yeah, like, this sounds like rap. And he was like, no, it's reggae. So my exposure to reggae music was at that moment, But then afterwards, maybe a few years later, my mom had like a conference in Jamaica, and she brought me some souvenir back from Kingston, Jamaica. And it was the first time I really listened to Bob Marley, the roots reggae, the traditional reggae.
So, Ras, listen, you spent about a decade in New York. That was when you were, when you were younger, you were introduced to reggae music. However, it wasn't until you came here. I mean, there was always a reggae scene here, but I always believed that you were the one who brought it kind of more to the more. I don't want to use the word mainstream because your music is definitely not mainstream, but you made reggae more accepted. People embrace reggae a lot more than when you started recording here in Indonesia. Can you tell us a little bit about what the scene was like when you first came to Indonesia, and how you helped develop it to become what it is today?
Okay, well, the thing is, like, when I grew up in New York City, especially the last few years, I was really exposed to the culture of reggae music with the sound systems, with so many different artists and with so many different songs and all of that. And that developed me in New York City. And I tried to bring that to the Indonesian reggae scene, because what I saw like 15 to 17 years ago in Indonesia, that was a bit one-dimensional. Everything has always been pinpointed back and circulated back to Bob Marley at that time. So I had to introduce them to different styles, like, dancehall music. And I guess a lot of people outside of the Indonesian reggae scene like that, connected to that, especially like the hip-hop community and all of that. So this is something that we can, that we can rock to, instead of the usual check it.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so we heard that you held a concert in Jamaica. So can you tell us the story behind it?
Yeah.
How did the audience react? How was the crowd?
The crowd was incredible. The crowd was very incredible. I was very blessed and grateful, alhamdulillah, for that. That was the first time to Kingston, Jamaica physically. That was 2015. I was invited by the Jamaican Tourism Board, and that was for an event called Earth Hour. That was March.
Right.
So it was an incredible experience because I performed with a line of artists in whom I get inspiration from. such as Chronix and Kabaka Pyramid, and, yeah, so many artists. And I was very overwhelmed and extremely nervous because it was like, oh, okay. So yeah.
But how did it feel though, introducing Indonesian reggae to the international world? I mean, you call yourself the ambassador of reggae from Indonesia. I mean, there's a little bit of international relations in you and in your blood. And why was that for you in particular really, really important that you're able to, represent Indonesia, not just through being Indonesian in the reggae scene, but also Indonesian reggae in an international scene? How was that?
It's great. It's a mission that I've been carrying for about 15 years because I feel like it's like I can't find another word for it. It's probably like bilateral because the thing is like I'm carrying a culture from Jamaica and I can't be detached from it and I can't disconnect from it. So that's why I want to introduce that more in depth. That reggae is not just a genre, but it's actually a culture. Culture consists of history of figures and dance and the speech, and it's pretty much the way of life, And on the other hand, I want to also introduce Indonesian reggae to an international scene, or someone from Indonesia who's doing reggae to an international scene. So it's been great, the journey.
Right, Ras. I believe in what you said as well. I believe that the music that connected with us when we were at a younger age is what ends up inspiring us, what ends up becoming the music, our main genre that we love. I hate to use that word, but the main genre that ends up growing with us. I myself grew up with hip hop in the 90s, early 2000s. I found that in that particular genre of music, so much has changed. There's been an evolution of the music, if you will, and not just of the music, but of the artists as well. What can you tell us about how reggae has evolved over the years and how it has changed? Has it been able to change? And how challenging is it for you to make the connection between the older generation that have been fans of you for a long time and the younger generation that you're connected to now?
In terms of reggae music and reggae culture itself, it has developed and changed a lot. And it changed a lot drastically, especially artists from Jamaica. They've been experimenting with so much different forms and styles of music outside the genre itself. 10 to 12 years, there's so-called, like the media would call the reggae revival, because you have these new generation like Protege, Kabaka Pyramid, Chronix, Kalisa, and Tiznambi and all of that. All of those brothers and sisters, they've been doing this new, a new breath of fresh air of reggae music. Still keeping the traditional, but with like a new sound. They would incorporate like a harder hip hop beat into it, but still with a reggae groove and all of that, and with very much emphasis on lyricism, just like how you would hear MCs on hip hop in hip hop. And it's incredible. When I was in Jamaica, I'm like, oh man, it's crazy. They've been like combining with like R&B and soul. It's like, yeah, they're doing great right now.
Do you feel like you have to continue to evolve with it as well, or do you find that, hey, this is my style and I'm sticking with it, or are you constantly finding yourself having to change with the times as well?
I think with the times also, I'm actually evolving, especially due to what happened to 20. I've been going inwards and trying to embrace the other forms and styles of music that I grew up with, like hip hop, R&B, and also personally, I've been listening to a lot of Afro pop from Lagos, Nigeria. So I've been incorporating those into the new songs and the new works that I'm doing. Even to like to the extent of like rock and grunge music, I've been incorporating that.
Oh. All right, Ras. Before we talk about we talk more about your music and what you have in the future, can we just talk about on a lighter note?
Yeah.
I mean, I am curious. Why do many reggae musicians or fans have dreadlocks? Which, by the way, I love your hair.
Yeah, I wish I had some so I could fill out this hat, because it's a little empty right now.
You should put in like a sock inside just to make it look something. No.
It's probably in part of the Rastafari movement. Rastafari movement in Jamaica. You know, the Rastafari movement started with the growing of the dreadlocks because it symbolizes one, like the lion's mane, and so it also symbolizes independence. It symbolizes freedom. So that's the dreadlocks.
Nice.
Nice.
So Ras, Yanni kind of evaded to it a little bit. What's up with your latest project here? Tell us a little bit about it.
It's a project I've been working on for I think the past 2 years. I've been taking it easy, and yeah, inshallah, we'll be releasing it sometimes 2023, and it's gonna be a double album, but it's gonna be divided. So it's gonna be volume 1 first, and then volume 2 will probably release it by 2024. But it's definitely not the stuff that people know me for, you know. So it's different styles.
You know, Ras, you've done so many collaborations as well, especially with local artists. Are there any on your bucket list that you haven't checked off yet? Somebody who you'd like to work with, and perhaps cross-genre, because we know that you're very adaptable. Your style is very adaptable. A lot of people have you on their projects as well. Is there any that you would like to have done in the near future?
Bumi One Palace.
Ooh,
That's probably
Oh,
good one.
yes.
Haven't done that yet. Yeah, that'll be a good one.
I've been making it for like the past 10 years. So
Right. So you got there's a concert coming up, if I'm not mistaken, in Malasti Beach, right?
Yeah, with Catch a Fire.
All right. So you're going to be performing there?
Yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
Oh,
With my band from Jakarta.
Ooh, that'd
Oh.
be good. That's right by where I live in Bali as well.
Ah, good for you.
I know. No, not really, because I'm here in Jakarta.
Well, I thought you'd be flying in for it. But
Yeah.
hey, Ras, I think it feels incomplete without hearing you sing a little, the legend that you are. So please, for our viewers, Ras Muhammad.
All right.
Ooh, guitar, I like it.
Oh, like that.
Ras Muhammad Unplugged.
Yeah, it's a local brand, Cheta.
Nice.
Ah,
It's
nice.
Cheta. It's a local brand from Bali. You are a champion. Keep on moving like bullets, doing stand up. Living life at the fullest. If you believe it, that you're a champion and you're a born winner, take it, and you are a champion. Keep on moving like a bullet, doing stand up. Living life to the fullest, sing, ayo chabara, ayo, ayo chabara, ayo, ayo chabara, ayo, ayo chabara, ayo. Greetings, Rastaman, sing, sana, sana, sana. Greetings, the weeks in every salam, salam, salam. Anytime you meet a greet anyone, whether it's a must, salam alaikum. No, that salam speaks unto you. Salam, salam, salam. There you go.
Muhammad, everyone. Thank you so much. Hey, have a
Yeah,
great
man.
show,
Yeah.
Russ. We wish you nothing but the best as well here from the 3-Hour News Show. Thank you so much for that little performance. Hope you have fun out there in Bali. We'll talk to you again real soon.
Yeah,
Take care, brother.
yeah. Thank you for the time.
Diplomats International.